Record setting coordinates. Alright, YouTube. I noticed in my last video about 0.047 of you wanted tips on how to study the Japanese language. And since I haven't done a video in a while, I figure I might as well go ahead and show you some of the things that I like to do. This is not a review. It's just a helpful video about studying the language, because as an otaku, you may be interested in the actual language and the culture and the history. So, why not give you some detailed insight? One moment. The Japanese. Why not give you some detailed insight on how to how to better grow in the development of learning this language. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to say a class is probably the most important aspect of learning this. You can learn it on your own, but it's really the benefit of having a full-blown class cannot be stressed enough. So, be sure to check that out. I'm from Atlanta, so I don't know if you guys know there are any places that offer Japanese courses except for maybe a college or a university. But for me, I've always done one primary thing. I mean, I'm in the class now because I'm in college. I'm in a different situation, but one of the main things I've always done is I've always used books. Tuttle Publishing, for example, awesome publishing company, I guess you would say. Awesome because because they publish a lot of language books, but most particularly they focus a lot on Japanese. Because see, Japanese is a very strenuous language, so you want to get as many books as you can on learning it. Now, for example, this one, Japanese Made Easy, let's see, put together by Tazuko Ajiro Mononane and updated, revised by Yumi Matsunari. Yeah, this book is particularly helpful because it not only gives you like full-blown chapters. See if you can chapters like this here, like this, but it also gives you like exercises to test out what you've learned. And the best thing about books like this, you can learn at your own pace. Now this is just for like an introduction to Japanese, but it gets very difficult, very tedious the further you go in there. But the more you grasp the language, the easier it becomes. Now, another one. Now, as you know, I should go ahead and say this now. As you know, the Japanese language is consisted of 3 different writing techniques. You have katakana, which is you'll see it the most common outside of Japan because it's used for things not of Japanese origin, and sometimes also for things of Japanese origin, but for a more broader perspective, I guess you'd say. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And hiragana is Japan's native writing system. The strange symbols and not what's the next word I was going to say? Syllables as well. Things like that. Things that are spelled out. Like if you would say Benkyo o shimasu, you would spell that out. Ben kyo. Then wo, which is pronounced o, and then shimasu, etc. and so forth. Hiragana. Now, the most difficult part is kanji, which is, of course, Chinese characters used for Japanese purposes. Kanji should be learned books like this, for example, Kanji de Manga. See, here's an example. Here are 2 examples of kanji. You can tell it's very different from the other languages, from the other writing types that I just touched upon. So that's probably the most difficult part of learning Japanese is the kanji. But okay, so here are 2 books, Japanese Made Easy and Kanji de Manga. Easy, awesome stuff. Now, you want to go in depth, especially when it comes to kanji. So what I did was I got this book right here. Can you see it? Introduction to Read and Write Japanese Scripts. This is a very good book. It's not by Tuttle. It's by Teach Yourself. But this is a very good book because it explains to you different parts of a character, such as the radicals, how to recognize it, how to see that what picture does it represent. So very good stuff. Very Japanese scripts. And now here's where it starts to get a little simple. Right here is the Japanese verbs. You can't learn language without learning its verbs. So what I did, I went all the way up to Yongsan. I'm in Korea now. All the way up to Yongsan and got this. It's the book full of Japanese verbs. And in it explains to you different forms of verbs. For example, present, past, plain, formal, informal. Talks about presumptive, volitional. It's more of a reference book. Don't practice just straight out. This just more refer to this when needed. And also it goes in conjunction. That was Tuttle, by the way. This also goes in conjunction with this one, verbs of essential and essentials of grammar. This not only tells you the verbs, but also tells you how to incorporate them into your sentences. See, books such as these two, well, this one in particular, teaches you how to speak it and read it. These others, just these, and this, teaches you how to write it. Of course, this one is in Romaji, so you might want to get one that's actually in Japanese script. And finally, well, not finally, but this box set right here. It's got everything you need to get started all the way up to intermediate level. It's got books, books, CDs, all that good stuff. Also by Teach Yourself, not by Tuttle, but still relevant. Now, other tips for learning it besides books, you also want to expose yourself to listening to music. Listen to some Japanese music. Listen to some Nihongo no ongaku, Japanese music, J-pop, J-rock, Japanese classical. Also, watch some movies. Of course, anime is a given, but also try to watch some live action Japanese movies. I can't get a few of them right now because they're way over there. I don't want to give you that awkward moment of silence, but watch them in Japanese, or you can watch them in English with Japanese subtitles. The trick is, excuse my stuttering. The trick is you have to expose yourself to the language as much as possible. My PSP, for example, I have it set in Japanese, so every time I turn it on, it's in Japanese. It helps me read it more, it helps me see it more. My Xbox 360 is also set in Japanese, and if I need to set it in English, I can. And also, this right here, this is just a general language site dictionary. It's just a Japanese pocket dictionary as well. As I said before, the most important thing about learning the Japanese language, or any language, is exposing yourself to it as much as possible. And this is just a sort of an item of mine. Got a little Japanese flag going on here. It's nice. And you may have noticed I got out my old hachimaki. From what I understand, it means endurance. So I usually wear this whenever I study. I don't believe it has any particular mythical effects, but it does help me focus. Okay, I gotta do this. Like next week, for example, I got the final exam for Japanese coming up, and I really gotta press hard on it. I already study every day and every night, but I really do. I just really don't want to fail, because if I fail, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's not that I don't understand the materials, it's that I blank out on the test. But yeah, also for learning hiragana, katakana, it also helps to make your own flashcards. I was about to go to Yongsan today to buy this Japanese book, actually this Japanese textbook and this Japanese workbook, but bad idea. And the reason why is because it would have cost me $50 from the Yongsan garrison to buy it. But I went online and I found the same two books. I can get them both less than $24. It's all about shopping around. And I have my own kanji flashcards, so yeah, I think that about covers it. Make your own cards. Sort of work with what you have. Get other things. Oh, and also there's this one website that I go to a lot. His name is Tumbleweed. I don't know if he still updates his site, but he's fluent in Japanese. He has a lot of helpful tips, and actually, it's a lot of where I got That's where I got a lot of his tips from, or a lot of these tips from. So, be sure to check that out. Uh, and there's one thing you must remember: practice, practice, practice. Always practice. Always try to succeed, because you may fail, but at least you tried. Now, before I click off of this video here, I want to show you my shirt. I ordered it a little while ago. See, now I don't know if you can see that. Non-flammable. I'm not a convicted arsonist. They never actually convicted me. So, yeah. So good luck. Ganbatte. And remember, have fun with the language. Alright? Take care until in our next video, actually. My next video will either be a review or a surprise. Because I really got this big thing. I really ordered something. I got this big thing coming up that I want to share with all of you. And I'm pretty sure those of you who are interested in Japanese culture and whatnot, I'm pretty sure you'll be interested. So, take care and stay safe.